Cancer is often seen as the gentle, caring sign of the zodiac, the nurturer, the protector, the one who holds space for others. While this is true, there's a side to Cancer that you may not see at first glance. Beneath that emotionally intuitive, empathetic exterior lies a force you don't want to mess with. If you've ever crossed a Cancer, you know that their emotional power can shift from calm and loving to intense and fiercely protective in a heartbeat. Today, we're diving into why Cancer is one of the most formidable signs when provoked. In this video, we'll explore the hidden depth of Cancer's personality, the emotional complexity, the intuition, and the quiet strength that can make them both loving and dangerous. From their deep emotional insight to their almost psychic ability to sense when something's wrong, Cancer is not someone to underestimate. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why you should never mess with a Cancer. You'll see how their emotional depth shapes their reactions, how their intuition drives them, and why they become such fierce protectors when pushed too far. 1. Cancer's emotional depth and intuition. One of the most striking features of Cancer is their emotional depth. This water sign is ruled by the moon, which governs feelings, instincts, and intuition. As a result, Cancer is deeply connected to their own emotions and those of others. They have an innate ability to sense what people are feeling without anyone saying a word, making them highly empathetic and compassionate. But this emotional sensitivity is more than just an ability, it's a core part of their identity. Cancer's emotional depth means that they feel everything intensely. When they love deeply, when they hurt just as deeply. Their emotional world is vast, and they live with an open heart. This depth makes them incredibly loyal and nurturing, always ready to care for those they love. However, it also means they are vulnerable. Because they feel everything so strongly, any insult, betrayal, or emotional disturbance is felt deeply, and that's when Cancer can transform. What makes Cancer dangerous when crossed is their intuition. Their ability to read people and situations goes far beyond just basic observation. Cancer's intuition is almost psychic. They can sense when something is wrong, even if there are no obvious signs. If you think you can deceive or hide something from a Cancer, think again. Their emotional radar is always on, and they can pick up on shifts in energy, tone, and body language that others would miss. This ability is not something they try to develop, it's just inherent to them. They trust their gut in a way that allows them to navigate life with a deep understanding of what's really going on beneath the surface. For example, Cancer can often tell when someone is lying or being manipulative, even without concrete evidence. It's as if they can feel the dishonesty in the air. This makes them highly protective of themselves and others, because they know when something isn't right. They trust their instincts to steer them away from harmful situations or people, and when they do confront something or someone, it's because their intuition has already warned them. Cancer's emotional intelligence isn't just something they use to care for others, it's also a tool they use to protect themselves. This emotional depth also contributes to Cancer's ability to connect with others on a profound level. They understand pain, joy, fear, and hope in ways that many other signs don't. This makes them excellent listeners and caregivers, but it also means they can be highly affected by the emotions of those around them. They don't just hear you, they feel you. And when you hurt them, or the people they care about, they feel it to their core. This emotional vulnerability is why Cancer can sometimes withdraw, retreating into their shell, to shield themselves from further harm. But even in this retreat, they are processing everything, and they will remember. It's this emotional depth that can make Cancer such a force when provoked. They may seem quiet, patient, and understanding, but when their emotional boundaries are crossed, they will react with a fierceness that's difficult to match. When Cancer reaches their emotional tipping point, they won't just forget. They won't be passive about it. Their reaction isn't just about anger, it's about protecting their emotional well-being and the well-being of those they love. So, why is Cancer so dangerous when crossed? Because they are emotionally invested in everything they do. Their emotional world is vast, and when you challenge them, you're not just attacking their pride or ego, you're attacking something far deeper, their sense of self and their relationships. They won't lash out immediately, but once their emotional depth has been wounded, you'll realize that the calm, nurturing Cancer you once knew is now a force to be reckoned with. 2. Cancer's loyalty and protectiveness. Cancer is one of the most loyal signs of the zodiac, and their loyalty isn't something they give lightly. When Cancer commits to someone, whether it's a partner, friend, or family member, they give all of themselves. They're not the type to keep people at arm's length. Their loyalty runs deep, and once you've earned their trust, they will stand by you no matter what. But this loyalty is not unconditional, it's something that is earned and, once broken, can be difficult to repair. What makes Cancer's loyalty so special is the fact that they don't offer it to just anyone. They are highly selective with who they let into their inner circle, because they know that their emotional investment will be deep. If you're lucky enough to be close to a Cancer, you will find that they are incredibly reliable, loving, and caring. They are the kind of person who will show up at 2 a.m. when you need them, who will listen patiently to your problems, and who will offer comfort when you're hurting. Cancer's loyalty goes beyond the surface level, it's rooted in their deep emotional connection to others. They don't just want to be there for people, they want to be the foundation of support that others can rely on. However, this same loyalty can quickly turn into protectiveness, and if you try to harm someone Cancer loves, you'll see a side of them you never thought possible. While Cancer can be soft and gentle, mess with their loved ones, and they'll unleash a protective rage that's like nothing else. The maternal instinct in Cancer is strong, regardless of gender. They take it upon themselves to safeguard the people they care about, and they will not hesitate to defend them, whether physically or emotionally. Cancer will fight back with the full force of their emotions, using their intuition and intelligence to dismantle anyone who tries to hurt their inner circle. If you betray Cancer's trust, don't expect an immediate blow-up. Cancer will often internalize the hurt, withdraw, and quietly process the damage. But once they've had time to reflect, they may decide to cut ties entirely. Their silence is their power, because once you lose a Cancer's loyalty, you lose someone who would have gone to the ends of the earth for you. If you cross them, don't expect a second chance. They will shut you out and won't hesitate to protect themselves from future harm. A real-world example might be a situation where someone wrongs a Cancer's close friend or family member. Cancer won't just stand idly by. They'll assess the situation and take action. Whether it's standing up to the person causing harm, emotionally distancing themselves from the toxic situation, or confronting the issue head-on, Cancer will make sure that they are protecting what matters most to them. They will do whatever it takes, and they will do it fiercely. Cancer's protectiveness isn't just about defending the people they love, it's also about ensuring that they maintain a safe emotional space for themselves and their loved ones. If you try to break through their walls, you're not just challenging a person's boundaries, you're challenging their deepest sense of security. And that's a fight you won't win. 3. Cancer's strong connection to family. For Cancer, family is the foundation of everything. This sign values deep, emotional connections, and they believe that family, whether by blood or by choice, is the most important thing in their lives. Cancer's sense of loyalty, devotion, and protectiveness is amplified when it comes to their family. They are the type of person who will always put family first, often sacrificing their own needs to ensure their loved ones are taken care of. The bond that Cancer shares with their family is sacred, and they will go to great lengths to preserve and protect it. One of the most striking features of Cancer's connection to family is their role as a caretaker. They are incredibly nurturing and will do whatever it takes to make their loved ones feel safe and cared for. Cancer often plays the role of the emotional anchor in their family, ensuring that everyone is supported, emotionally stable, and secure. They take pride in this role and will pour their energy into making sure their family is always taken care of. For Cancer, home is not just a place, it's a feeling, a sense of belonging, and they will fight to keep that sense of warmth and security intact. This emotional connection to family runs so deep that Cancer can become fiercely protective of their loved ones. Cross a Cancer's family, and you're not just making an enemy out of Cancer, you're threatening their entire emotional world. Cancer will go to battle to defend their family, whether that means confronting someone who's hurt them or shielding their loved ones from harm in any way they can. When someone they care about is threatened, Cancer's fierce protective instincts kick in, and they will act swiftly and decisively. This doesn't always look like physical confrontation, it could be a quiet and calculated distancing, a subtle but firm cutoff, or a vocal defense of the person they love. Cancer doesn't just form these deep emotional bonds with blood relatives, they form family-like connections with close friends and people they trust. Once someone is in their inner circle, Cancer treats them like family. If you've ever been treated like family by a Cancer, you know that they don't hold back in showing love and support. They will open their home and their hearts to you, making sure you know that you are part of their world. But make no mistake, if you hurt someone Cancer loves, you will experience the full force of their loyalty and protective instincts. However, there's a delicate balance to this. Cancer will go to great lengths to protect their family, but if you try to disrupt the harmony of their family life or cause chaos in their personal space, they will retreat. Cancer's natural response to family conflict is to protect what they have and build up walls to shield themselves from future hurt. They believe in the sanctity of family and will not tolerate anyone who tries to break that sacred bond. Cancer's deep connection to family makes them not only nurturing but also incredibly resilient. No matter how deep the wound, they will always come back for the people they care about. This emotional strength is what makes them both the ultimate caretaker and an unshakable force when it comes to protecting the ones they love. 4. Cancer's inner strength and resilience. Cancer is often seen as a sensitive and emotional sign, but this overlooks one of their most powerful traits, their inner strength and resilience. Cancers have an incredible ability to endure hardship and bounce back stronger than ever. While they may retreat into their shell when they feel hurt, this retreat is not a sign of weakness, it's a way for them to regroup, heal, and prepare to face the world again with renewed strength. Their emotional depth fuels their resilience. The same depth that makes them vulnerable also gives them an incredible ability to persevere. At their core, Cancers are survivors. They've weathered emotional storms that would break other signs, yet they continue to rise. Their resilience is quiet but undeniable. Unlike other signs that may lash out or seek to control the world around them, Cancer faces adversity with a deeply personal strength. They face their struggles internally, reflecting on the situation and how they can move forward. When things get tough, Cancer doesn't crumble, they find a way to rebuild their emotional world and carry on. A significant part of Cancer's inner strength is their ability to learn and grow from their experiences. They may retreat, they may cry, they may feel broken for a time, but they always come back, and they come back stronger. Their emotional scars aren't weaknesses, they are battle marks of someone who has faced difficulty and survived. Cancer uses their pain as a tool for growth, understanding, and emotional maturity. They don't hide from their emotions, they confront them, process them, and emerge even more determined to protect what matters to them. Cancer's resilience is also rooted in their incredible loyalty. When they commit to a person, an idea, or a cause, they fight for it relentlessly. Their loyalty drives them to endure, to overcome, and to protect those they love, even in the most difficult of circumstances. When a Cancer's family or loved ones are threatened, they tap into this inner strength to rise above any challenge. Even when the world seems to be against them, Cancer remains steadfast, digging deep within themselves to find the courage to keep going. Take a moment to think about the people you know who have experienced hardships but continue to push forward. Cancers are like that. They may show vulnerability, but it is that vulnerability that allows them to connect deeply with others and, more importantly, to bounce back after facing adversity. They don't wear their resilience as a badge, they just quietly carry it with them, unshaken by the storms they face. This strength is also what allows Cancer to defend themselves emotionally. When they are hurt or betrayed, they don't engage in grand gestures or loud confrontations. Instead, they withdraw, process, and come back with a calm, steady resolve. Cancer's strength is quiet, but it is incredibly powerful. When you think they've given up or lost hope, that's when they are gathering the energy they need to rise once again. Their strength is not in grand displays, it's in their ability to endure, to survive, and to protect what is most important to them, no matter the cost. 5. The wrath of a Cancer, the quiet fury. Cancer is known for being caring, compassionate, and deeply emotional, but cross them, and you'll soon realize that their quiet, nurturing nature hides a fury that is not easily seen. Cancer doesn't need to shout or cause a scene to make their anger known. Instead, their wrath is quiet, subtle, and deeply intense. When a Cancer is pushed to the point of anger, it's not the dramatic outburst of a fire sign, it's a calm and calculated response that leaves a lasting impact. The key to Cancer's wrath lies in their emotional world. They don't lash out impulsively. Instead, they internalize their anger, often retreating to process and reflect. But make no mistake, this quiet period is not a sign of weakness or submission. Cancer is carefully considering the best way to deal with the situation. When they do act, it's with a quiet but fierce resolve. They'll make sure you understand the consequences of crossing them, often without ever raising their voice. This ability to hold their anger in can be terrifying for those who have crossed a Cancer. Cancer's fury isn't explosive, it's a slow burn. When they finally unleash it, the impact can be emotionally devastating. The emotional depth they carry allows them to wield their anger with precision, using words and actions that cut deep, and often in ways that the other person never expected. Cancer's wrath is not something they show freely, it's reserved for those who have seriously hurt them or their loved ones. Once their trust has been broken, their calm, nurturing persona fades, and a much darker, protective side emerges. Unlike some signs that let their emotions guide their actions, Cancer uses their anger as a tool for justice. They won't go out of their way to harm others, but when they are wronged, they will make sure the wrongdoer feels the weight of their actions. It's the kind of anger that leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew about the person. They may withdraw, distance themselves, or cut you off entirely, but their silence speaks volumes. Once a Cancer's fury is unleashed, they are done with the situation and are unlikely to revisit it, no matter how much you try to apologize or reconcile. It's also important to note that Cancer's wrath is often a defense mechanism. When they are hurt, they will protect themselves and those they love by any means necessary. If you've ever seen a Cancer fiercely defend a loved one, you'll understand just how powerful and unrelenting they can be. Their protective nature turns into a fierce warrior mentality when they sense that their emotional world or their family is at risk. In short, Cancer's anger isn't something to be taken lightly. It's quiet, it's intense, and when unleashed, it's devastating. They don't need to shout to get their point across. Sometimes, their silence and the emotional intensity behind it are enough to make you realize the full weight of their wrath. Cross a Cancer, and you'll soon find that their quiet fury is something you'll regret provoking. 6. Cancer's need for security and stability. One of the most vital aspects of Cancer's personality is their deep need for security and stability. While Cancer can be emotional and nurturing, they are also incredibly sensitive to any threat to their sense of safety, whether that's in their personal relationships, their home life, or even their career. For Cancer, security isn't just a physical need, it's emotional as well. They want to know that the people they care about will be there for them, that they can rely on their environment, and that their emotional well-being will remain intact. This desire for stability is fundamental to Cancer's inner peace. When Cancer feels secure, they flourish. They can express their love, their creativity, and their unique emotional gifts without hesitation. However, when this stability is disrupted, whether by a betrayal, a shift in their environment, or any form of emotional turmoil, they retreat. They withdraw into their shell, not out of spite but to protect themselves from further emotional harm. This instinct to create a stable, safe space is what drives Cancer to establish firm boundaries. They will go to great lengths to maintain peace and security in their lives, and if that means cutting ties with someone or walking away from a toxic situation, Cancer won't hesitate to make that decision. For Cancer, home is not just a place, it's a sanctuary. This is where they feel most comfortable, where they can nurture their loved ones and recharge. If you disturb Cancer's peace or make them feel unsafe in their own home, you're creating a rift that can be hard to heal. Once a Cancer's sense of security is threatened, they may not immediately react, but the impact is significant. They'll take their time to process, but they won't forget the disturbance. Their emotional world needs to be protected, and when they feel exposed or unsafe, they will do whatever it takes to restore the balance. Cancer's need for stability also extends to their relationships. They want to feel like they can rely on those they love, and they need that consistency. If you break that trust or cause emotional instability, they won't feel comfortable in the relationship anymore. They may quietly distance themselves, taking time to evaluate whether this relationship can provide them the emotional security they crave. If it cannot, they will move on without hesitation, knowing that their well-being is more important than staying in a relationship that brings them turmoil. Ultimately, Cancer's need for security is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it makes them reliable, loyal, and protective. But on the other hand, if that sense of stability is threatened, they will do whatever it takes to defend their emotional peace. If you challenge this stability or try to destabilize their world, you'll quickly see just how strongly they'll fight to protect their sense of safety and calm. In conclusion, Cancer may appear to be the gentle and nurturing soul of the zodiac, but beneath that compassionate exterior lies a deeply emotional, loyal, and protective individual who will not hesitate to fight for their loved ones or themselves when pushed too far. Their emotional depth, resilience, and need for security shape their powerful nature, making them not only one of the most caring signs, but also one of the most formidable when threatened. If you mess with a Cancer's family, emotional well-being, or sense of safety, you'll find that their wrath, quiet fury, and ability to protect themselves will leave you with more regret than you could imagine. Never underestimate a Cancer, because when they're pushed, they will not back down. If you've ever had an encounter with a Cancer or witnessed their protective side in action, I want to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video with others who might find it insightful. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cancer's personality, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more astrology content and hit the bell for notifications. Stay tuned for more videos, and remember, treat your loved ones with respect, especially if they're Cancer.